Education, an ever-changing landscape. All right. Appreciate you fellas joining me this evening. Welcome to the Academic Therapy Podcast. This is your safe space for healing through systems that shape us. All right. My name is Mike Coates. I'm your host, and I have a very esteemed panel today. And I'll go ahead and start with, I guess, above me. I'm not sure what it looks like on y'all screens, but we'll go ahead with Dr. Dana Doggett. If you could just briefly share who you are. You don't have to go into school district, school, whatever, just for, privacy, but just a little bit about your journey through education.
Hi, my name is Dr. Dana Doggett, Mount Vernon, New York native. I started my career in education in 1997. Graduated from the University of Pittsburgh as an accounting major. Couldn't find no job. Jumped right into a master's program um, for masters in elementary education. So I student taught in first grade. I got hired the following year, second grade. I taught for 3 years, and I became an administrator at 26 years old in New York. So I'm going into my 25th year as an administrator. I moved to the DMV in 2004, started my doctoral program at Howard. It took a long time, but I did assistant principal overall for about 16 years. And I'm going into, no, actually 15. I'm going to my 10th year as principal out here in the DMV. So glad to be here.
All right. Next up, my man, Mr. Dwayne Edwards.
Dwayne Edwards, from the DC area, but began my career down in the Eastern Shore of Maryland after I graduated from the University of Maryland Eastern Shore. Started my career as an English teacher, teaching high school, and then became a high school guidance counselor after I received my master's in guidance and counseling. And then when I moved from the Eastern Shore to Prince George's County Public Schools, they put me in elementary school. So it was a real culture shock. So I've been in Prince George's County Public Schools. I want to say this is year 23 here in PG, year 26 in education I'm going into now. Started in the doctoral program at Howard, but ended with the EDS from Howard instead of getting the full degree. So I got the educational specialist degree, and I've been a principal. I'm going in my fourth year as principal.
Awesome. And definitely, not least, but our last panelist, my man, Mr. Marcus Young.
I'm Marcus Young. I'm from the DMV, from Prince George's County, my whole life. Uh, Graduated from Laurel High School, went to Bowie State for my undergraduate degree in elementary education. Uh, then I went to McDaniel College for my master's, and then I'm in Bowie. Went going back to Bowie State for my doctoral degree. I started off teaching in elementary school. I've been a math teacher ever since. I was assistant principal. I was actually, it's funny, Dana talking about accounting. I was actually got an accounting certification because it took so long because I thought I was ready about 26, 27 to get AP, and the county was acting kind of weird and funny. So I actually went and got my accounting certificate from PG, and I was ready, and then they just called me up. And so then I did that. And so I was assistant principal for like 10 years because I wanted to be good at my job before I became a principal. I wanted to be able to help assistant principals when I became. I think a lot of times they rush you as a black man and so forth to go into get a school, but then they don't. When you get your school, they don't want to support you and back you. And so I wanted to make sure that I knew my job clearly before I could be a supervisor over the job. So this is my going into my second year as a principal, but I've been an administrator 11, 12 years.
My man, appreciate that, fellas. Thank you for the amazing introductions. So let's jump right into it. Like I said, this is academic therapy. We kind of treat this as a therapeutic session. So let's jump into it. So our first topic is called desk fatigue. So let's talk about that for a moment, man. As a leader, it seems like things, nobody ever really goes into what it means to truly be the leader or the instructional leader of a building. So let's talk about what does that mean for some of you all as a building leader.
So I think I
I mean,
can start. Go ahead,
go ahead.
Marcus. Go ahead, Marcus.
No, I'm just saying. I know, like So when people tell you like this principal job is not like any other job that you ever had, they totally correct, and they don't. I don't think they prepare you for all the other things that you deal with in terms of the desk when you talk about the budgets and the just the different things that the bureaucracy and the different things that the school system asks of you, and if you don't produce it, saying in a timely manner, when they consider timely manner, you get written up, you get slapped on the hand and so forth. And it goes, they want you to be an instructional leader, and that's what they say, but a lot of times you're bogged down with paperwork and deadlines and so forth that take away from you being an instructional leader in your building. Um, we were kind of promoted because we were some of the best at what we do. So for me, I was a math teacher, and so as being a principal this year, I did not get into classrooms though like I wanted to because I felt as though I was always doing some type of something county related or being pulled out the building for something that probably could have been put in an email or so forth. And so you get away from the touch and the feel of the classroom, in my opinion, in this role. Even as assistant principal, I was able to go in the classroom and so forth. But I think it's just a whole different skill set that it takes to be a principal and build a leader than it does to be an AP. And you are responsible for all of those things, whether it's the academic scores, but also the things that are that they ask of you.
Awesome. Thank you for that response, Mr. Young. I mean, Dr. Doggett, I know you were about to jump in and share something.
Yeah, so honestly, y'all, this position is about customer service and time management at the end of the day. I think Mark, you said it, we're the best of the best, but no one really prepares you for this. You go to classes. Obviously, someone saw something in us, and then but we have to believe in ourselves. I truly believe being an administrator is how you run your household. Whether you're organized, you clean, you're consistent, you're disciplined. But I think, they say our job is to be an instructional leader, which we are. And Mark, you saying it was your first year. Shoot, I'm going into my 10th year and I still can't get in classes like I want to. You know what I'm saying? Because we got to deal with discipline. We got to deal with scheduling. We have to oversee everything. We got to deal with parents, budgeting. I think the budget is the easiest part of my job because I was an accounting major. But it's all about having customer service, practicing professionalism, and also building others' capacity. I think we leave that out
Mm.
because we expect people to come in to be us, but we have to keep in mind that we're training the next leaders as well. I mean, we could talk about this forever, but the overall job, the number one priority is being an instructional leader, and then it's just about managing an organization and customer service. Once you get customer service between your parents, your staff, it's a win-win situation. Period. It's a win-win. You can't lose, and that's why I don't want to be biased, but individuals rather work for a male principal than a female principal. I still haven't figured that out yet, but just really think about it. We're not petty. We're going to get in your face. We're going to be direct, transparent, and then we're going to leave it.
Right.
We're going to keep it moving. So, I just want to be in a continued space of learning. You know, Mike, honestly, you have helped me out tremendously coming in back to middle school. And this is different from COVID. After COVID
Mm.
and people not working, it's a whole different ball game to sit in this seat. I say the principalship is or schools now are social services.
Yes,
Period.
they are.
You know.
They are. And see, I just take it to a different way because I have a background as a therapist. And
Right.
so not only was I a counselor, I was also a licensed therapist, and I used to run therapy sessions on the side because education, you always got to have a side hustle. And in it, I've learned that in these last 4 years that you are taking care of, I tell my staff, I'm taking care of 600 people every day. I have to worry about 600 people every day. All you have to worry about is yourself and your students. That's maybe 25 people that you're worrying about. I got to worry about everybody. And then everybody has a sob story. Everybody has a problem. Everybody has an issue. It seems like, as Dana said, when we got back from COVID, um, it seemed like everybody people became, what's the best way to say this? And I'm gonna say it I'm gonna say it like this. People became soft,
Mm,
meaning people can't take a punch like they used to. Their fortitude and their dexterity for life has really, really become non-existent. I think people are willing to not want to challenge themselves or go the extra mile, and it's like their feelings become very fragile, and you're walking on eggshells. I read a book called Talking on Eggshells. You're walking on eggshells with some folks because you can just say, I don't like what you do, and they can have a breakdown on you, and that can really mess up your school. It
mm,
can mess up a class because then they'll take off days, and then they'll go in through they'll change the climate because they can change the narrative. And it's just different after COVID that you are really becoming you got to become a social service person to the staff. They want to focus more on their personal lives and what they actually come into the door, and they forget that they're getting paid for to do a service, and you have to constantly remind them.
Let me ask
So
you, Mr. Edwards, or either one of y'all, have y'all become numb to some of those stories and
yeah.
everybody's problems that come in there? Like, is it wrong when you become numb to it, or like and because you don't know what's the truth and what's not, you know what I'm saying?
mm,
So like, how do you guys manage it?
I'm
So
very transparent when it comes to it, and this is why I believe that Mike and Dana have been telling me I need to come to middle school because I'm very transparent, and tell my staff, especially my female staff, tears anger me
mm,
because many times everyone who comes in there and they are wrong or want to be held accountable for something, they start crying, and that makes me mad. It really makes me mad. So I even said in the staff meeting, don't if I'm holding you accountable, don't come in my office crying. Because the minute you start crying is the minute I'm gonna start acting a certain way. Because I
mm,
know that you're deflecting. And sometimes it's a shame that I've become numb to it. I got somebody who got an excuse every day. I got somebody who I know is on a substance and I just can't prove it, but he is on it. And every time I try to get him out of my building, he's able to beat the rap and come right back. So it's like I've really become numb to it, and I'm just like, hey, take your leave.
mm-hmm,
How's this affecting children? If you got leave, use your leave. I don't want to hear it. I have a woman who comes every day with a thing that her daughter is sick. Every morning she sends me an email that she's going to be late because her child something is wrong with her child every morning. And when I try to do something, I'm like, I stop answering the emails. I've stopped showing my concern and care. And they start getting the picture and they just say, hey, I can't pull that on them. And I just go to something else.
yeah,
Mike, this is a safe place, right?
absolutely.
All right. So a couple things I want to talk about. I think in my early years, and I was in my 20s, y'all, just really going into like my third or fourth year as assistant principal. And one of my principals, he's retired now. He was down. He said, "We got to take everything, treat it as business and not personal. And once that digests with you, you'll move differently."
Mm,
Now, I don't think people understand, especially as black men, that people gonna come to us their problems. I'm gonna listen, but one thing that they don't like, you can come in here and listen. When it's time to reprimand you and put something on paper, that changes the whole dynamic. I treat everyone fair, but we going on paper because sometimes our people and people in education, we have that talk. They think we good, but I
mm-hmm,
can't. I don't trust nobody, and that's how we gotta be. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta just really treat this as business and not personal. And I wanted to say this too. The way you said this, we are actually counselors, man. We are constantly pouring into people, but what we gotta realize, we gotta be poured into too. So we gotta be like, Mike, I might check up on you, or Marcus, I might check
mm-hmm.
up on you, or Dwayne, we might talk every now and then, because we gotta do a better job of that as men and as principals, whether you're a woman or man, just to say, yo, how you doing?
Right.
That goes a long way because sometimes you feel like you're isolated.
You in it by yourself,
You know what
right?
I'm saying? But that little phone call was like, okay, that's my man. You know what I'm saying? That's my people. So we got to do that more. You know what I'm saying? Because, at the end of the day, it's July 24th or 23rd, and I'm still at the job, B.
And it's at
So
6:30 in the evening.
but it is what it is. You got to really kind of separate. the business from personal.
Mm-hmm.
And once you start documenting folks, and so Marcus, we talked about that, it's going to shift the paradigm with people, or they're not
Mm.
playing. So I'm trying to start that coming into my second year at this middle school, off the brick.
I
So
know that's right.
yeah.
So it's crazy that you all brought those points up, though, and thank you for that segue, Marcus. Let's talk about the moment where your leadership stops feeling like your purpose and actually starts to feel more like a punishment. Because I feel like that's kind of where we're going, especially with all of us having a few years under our belt as the building leaders. What is that like for you?
I'm gonna be real with you. I'm gonna be real with you, man.
About to hit a button with that one. Look.
I'm gonna be real with you. I'm just going how I do. I do my own thing, man. I
Mm,
go to the meetings and I hear what we have to do, but how am I gonna apply that to where I'm comfortable doing my job still? Because one thing that's not gonna happen, we go to these meetings, they try to tell us what to do inside our buildings that you're not
mm,
in. So for real, we got to do all this, all that, and we got to implement it. But I'm gonna be honest with you, and that's why I love middle school. I take it and I adapt it to what it is. Now, punishment to me, for real, getting these observations done, preparing for
hey,
these stat
Topher, that's
meetings.
real.
You know what I'm saying? When
That's
you got
real.
no, when you got stat meetings on top of mid-year conferences, it's all at once. Then I feel like you know what, it's too much right now.
Mm,
You know what I'm
mm.
saying? When you got we got principal meetings twice a month or three times a month. Then we got to do mid years or beginning of the years, observations and stat. That's when it's like, yo, y'all doing too much right now. But guess
But
what? We persevere.
we do, and but something that's interesting. You say that, Dana, is that I'm the opposite. I can do those without any problems. That don't bother me to get that stuff done. What is
Really?
really the thing that bothers me is I had a lot of issues this year with he say, she say, gossip and backbiting.
Mm.
It got so bad to a point where I had to have a special staff meeting and I just let everybody have it. I just
Like you
had to
just
let
popped off on them? Like
I
you just
just I
crashed
just
out?
I just said we can't do this. I said we can't do this, and I pulled out the employee code of conduct, and I said, "Look, if I hear one more thing, I'm getting
Mm.
ready to anybody who's involved. I am going to start the disciplinary process using the employee code of conduct, page 12." And if Mike, you know me very well, you know that I'm about policy and procedure, and I can tell you the APs like the back of my hands. And the one thing that always frustrates them is that I know their contract better than their contract, and I can quote their contract to them. That's why I don't. I was able to when my FAC came at me. When my union folks came at me this year, they dissolved their council after tangoing with me one meeting. So they dissolved the council altogether and left me alone for one after that one session with me
Mm-hmm.
because I'm pretty to a point where when it comes to the observations, come to the stat days and stuff, that stuff I like to do. Those
Right.
that means I'm in the classrooms. That means I don't have to deal with pettiness. Now, when you got to bring me in here and I got people crying about, oh, why she gossiping about me? Why they all up in my business, telling my business out here, talking about my baby father? I'm like, what does that got to do with children?
What's I got to do with
What does
anything?
that got to do
Right.
with anybody? So I had to have a whole staff meeting, and that changed. I said, if I hear 1 ounce of gossip that comes my way, if your name is in it, both you and the person who brought it to me is getting written up.
So
Mm.
Dwayne, that's one thing you said about that, and you said something very important that we all need to go by, that employee code of conduct. And once we reference that in a corrective action form, and then the last thing I always say is that I always recommend EAP. People don't want to hear that.
Oh yeah.
And when people got issues, I'll be like, yo, go to EAP. That's what they
Any
there
any
for.
anytime I write somebody on corrective action, I put that in there.
Yeah, so it's just like putting it on paper, but the way you said some key, that employee code of conduct. Because misery's gonna love company. And we gotta shut that stuff down immediately. Period.
Mm-hmm.
And because they know
And
we not gonna gossip. We not for that. And I tell my staff, what you say about me is none of my business.
that's right. But so
Mm.
because what really led up to it was My secretary came crying in my office one morning, and she said it was brought to my attention by one of the teachers in the building that they were at a softball game, and an old person who used to work in my building, who I don't have very pleasant things to say, approached them
Hmm.
and said, "What is Edwards running over there, daycare center?" Because I allowed my secretary, whose child care kind of fell through. I told her she needed to get some payroll done. She said, "Mr. Edwards, I'm gonna take off of that academy payroll in my office. Can I bring my child?" I said, "Yeah." I didn't have no problem. She has her own office. She brought the child in. The child wasn't a problem. The child was asleep most of the time in her office. She did the payroll and she left. The other person who spread the gossip, who I knew told the situation was in my building, her son came in my school. And I can't use bad words, can I?
It's a
Okay.
safe space, brother.
Uh, that fool came in there high. I saw it in his face. He was glassy. Like, you the same one gossiping about what I'm allowing in my building, and I could have called the police because I knew he was high. And I had to be honest with him. I think the thing of it is that a lot of these folks have gotten this this
Mm,
entitlement with them, that they have a union and that we need them. That's the whole thing. Because the climate, the teachers feel like we need them. That, oh, everybody needs us because
right.
everybody is short staffed, and he's going to just deal with my bull crap because they need us. Nah, we're not doing that. I think for
Mm,
me, going into my fourth year as an administrator, I think my wake up call was that two of my strongest teachers decided that they wanted to leave this year. One
mm.
decided to leave because she got her national board certification, and she was able to go to a school on the state list and make $22,000 more. She said, "Mr. Edwards," she said, "Mr. Edwards, I would stay with you if you was on that list. I do not want to leave, but the way my household is going, and I'm the only one working, this will help my family."
You gotta
Yeah,
respect her for that too.
yeah,
I
they since you
respected
in
her
the
for that.
bag, homie.
And she came to
Yeah,
you. She came
How
to
you?
you.
she
What
came
you?
to
How
me.
you gonna negotiate against $20,000
I
more?
couldn't do it. And
Exactly.
so I said, "Where are you trying to go?" She says, "I'm trying to go to this school." I went and printed out her end of the year evaluation and drove over to the school and sat with the principal and say, "You don't need to interview nobody, take her.
This the one you need.
This the
But
one you need."
And
but
that's crazy, man. And I want to sit with that though too, Dwayne, because a lot of people overlook the fact that even as leaders, and yes, we want to make sure our staff is solid, especially when we got good people. We also look out. Like Doggy, you touching on that a little bit. Like we'll look out. We don't want to hold nobody back. I've never understood how people can say, "Oh, they blocked me from getting this transfer somewhere." You can't block nobody. Now, if
Now I
all your
did
ducks
block
in a
somebody.
row,
Dog can know who
oh,
who
this
did
guy,
yeah,
it.
yeah, but you know
now
what?
you just tear my whole point up.
But
No,
I
I
know
didn't
what.
tear it up. I
But
didn't tear it up.
but Mike,
Nah,
I
but I
don't
want
know.
to stick with that, man, because I feel like we've been told a lie at times. We've been told this lie that as leaders, strong leaders are unshakable. But we deal with a lot of problems, like you was just sharing. Like, yo, I don't want to lose this teacher, but they
But
got
you
to
got,
roll out
but you,
for
but
the
and
sake of their
I
family. I can't deal with like now. I got to figure out how do I replace this person who was a cornerstone in my instructional staff.
but Doc, but I think I mean I agree with you, Mike, and stuff like that. But I think you know, going back to what Dana said earlier, you know what I'm saying? Like we as black men got to start helping each other out. One thing I will say, this is safe space. Them sisters help each other out. If you look at all them damn IDs, you look at who's social superintendents, you look at how many black men do you see on it, and they pull each other up and they work together and they use my man, use my girl. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that they're not qualified, but we don't seem to do that as black men. We're like we don't have, you know what I'm saying? We don't even have a male associate superintendent. You know what I'm saying? Like we talking about like a school system in which black males are the worst performing subgroup in the school system. When you talking about look at the amount of how many black men we have as instructional directors. What is it? Two. Daryl Owens, Ed Ryan was one. He gone. It's not that many. You know what I'm saying? And so we don't hold each other back, but we have to start looking out for each other. We need to start forming our group. That's why I think this is powerful. you know what I'm saying, and what you're doing, what you're putting together, because like we need to start working together. These sisters, they help each other out. They make sure, even when I was listening to who they was talking about, well, when we looking at associate superintendent in middle school, they talk together about who should interview and who shouldn't interview. I mean, who should put their thing in there. And that's just keep it here in a safe space. You know what I'm saying? But like we had to start doing that as well, because you know what I'm saying, ain't nobody really looking out for us. And like so, like Dog said, you know, we need to start checking on each other. We need to start meeting up. We need to start our own basic cohort of, you know, and relying on each other, because you know you've seen it, and I know what Dog said. You know, when we talked about as middle school principals, like the way they tear up our what's the stats, it's crazy. Like, you know, the work we put in them stats and how we put those things together, looking through this data, and the scores they give us are just abomination. Like, you
Atrocious.
know, atrocious. Like we just put the shit together in 35 minutes. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm
Right before we
serious.
got in
Like,
the joint, right?
you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's like, and so they try to say, oh, well, this ain't, everything's evaluative. And so when you trying to go to this next level or whatever the next level is, because you got to think, like, if you want to go to the next level, this is a young person's game, education. If you come out of school 21, you can retire at 51, 52. We well into our 40s, 50s, whatever your age is. We at the end, we should be even further along than what we actually are. You know what I'm saying? Because if you look at who some of your supervisors are, they ain't that much older than you, or if
Or
they older
younger.
than you at all,
They younger.
or younger. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And so everybody that's an instructional director ain't had success in their building. Like
Mm,
I want to see everybody's scores. If you
mm.
tell me that my scores some trash, whatever, you know what I'm saying? I want to see what you did. Show me what you did with the same population. Show me how the school got better when you came there and how it dropped down when you left, because you know you were the reason for the impact. You know what I'm saying? But they sure can tell you why your stat looking crazy. You know what I'm saying? And so, like I said, as black men, like I challenge us in 25, 26 is to start really, you know, banding together to really propel each other and push each other to, you know, like, oh man, I got somebody, my coach can do this, or you know what I'm saying, Dan Dog can do that. So that was like, you know, whether we sit together, whether we, you know, we have think tanks in which we are really pouring into each other, because guess what? These sisters do that, Joey.
Mm.
Yo, just going back to not holding anyone back. I want to go back to professionalism. I talked about business. We are professionals. So I tell my staff the professional thing to do, if you want to leave, have that conversation with me. What I
Mm.
don't want to hear is another principal calling me and
Yeah.
they telling me you going for a job. Then I'm gonna look at you. I'm gonna look at you funny style. And I'm not trying to hold you back. Just come to me. Tell me what you want to do.
Be straight up.
That's it. Because the thing is, guess what? I appreciate even though that person, the way you said, even though that person may be strong and she had to go. Guess what you did though? You supported her. You rather somebody come with that you know that's good, that's trying to excel in their career, or I'm gonna replace her, but it's gonna be hard. But you respect it,
And see, it was like for a one, it was a 1-2 punch, because this teacher, she was dynamic. My ELD's team was dynamic under her leadership,
right?
and she helped the exit rates tremendously.
Right.
Couldn't do that. The other person was my data coach,
Hmm.
and my data coach, when he came to me, he said, "Mr. Edwards, I am taking a position at another school." And I felt like I got hit in the gut, because she came one day, he came the next day. And these are like people who sit on my leadership team.
Hmm.
And so when I'm talking, I said, "Well, have I offended you? Did I overwork?" He was like, "No, no, no." I remember when I took over the school, the former principal says, "I want you to help get him out of his shell."
We gotta help people
And
out.
so in the 3 years that I worked with him, I saw him go from a very timid person who was scared to talk to people to actually being able to tell people, "No, we ain't doing that," and actually being a leader. And he was like, "I wanted to try something new." He said, "I know your thing about you can't come back once you leave, but I want to try something new. I want to see how life is." And he's about to have some transformational stuff happen for him as well. He said, "I've been at this school since I got out of college, and I just want to see what it's like at another place." I'm like,
Mm.
"Hey, I got you. I would be a bad. I know losing you hurts me deep inside my stomach, but I'm going to do what's right by you because, again, I can. If I was able to help develop him, I can develop other people. But again, you never hold anybody back. And then another caveat to that is, I'm not going to let if you my headache, you are not going to be uh you're not going to be the headache of somebody else.
So I want to piggyback on that, and I'm gonna piggyback on Marcus. So I interviewed this music teacher, vocal music teacher, last week. Interview went well. I said, "What's the first thing I said? Who's your principal?" I didn't tell. I know him. We all know each other. She told me. I called Dwayne right away. He's like, nah, don't take her, and I didn't because you
And it
gotta have
wasn't
that
that she was
reference.
it wasn't that it wasn't the fact that she was a bad instructor. The fact of it is that it's more about the instruction and about the culture.
Right.
Mm,
And that type of culture that she brings with her, I would not wish that on anybody, especially if I call you friend.
And we got to
mm,
do that with each other. And I've been doing that. And let me tell you, Marcus said one thing that we got to stick together because let me tell you what I did. I was mentoring Marcus this year, so he invited me over for a learning walk.
mm-hmm.
Everyone knows about ghosts and they heard the rumors. Y'all walked in the building, you could just feel positive energy.
Yo,
So
it was a difference, man.
off the rip, I was like, "Yo, Marcus, it's you doing a great job." I never been in the building. I'm just talking about
Mm,
what you hear in the past. I'm like, "Yo, you doing a great
mm,
job." I said, "You know what I'm about to do? I'm about to email your ID." You know what he said? "Yo, thank you," because she was probably in his ass about
oh,
some done. So I sent the positive message to her, like, "Yo, I'm at Golson. I'm at a learning walk. They already know I'm mentor." I said, "It's a great culture over here. Things have changed." Like I just said something positive and sent it to his ID.
mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what we got to do. And it wasn't like to try to get brownie points. It was a
Right.
true. It was just true. I'm like,
I'm
yo,
just
I'm at my
showing
man's
love.
pool, and
Right.
he been there freaking 3 months, and he got this joint quiet. His joint is running. He got systems and structures in place.
Like ain't no kids in the hallways running
None of
them up.
that. None of
You know
that.
what I'm
But I
saying?
stopped.
Kids in there, they learning.
I stopped what I was doing, and I said, yo, real talk. And he didn't tell me. He didn't ask me to do it. I said, I'm about to I email Dr. Lamar and Dr.
Mm-hmm.
Thomas. Period. You know, because some
Mm,
we got to do. I just did it, and he was like, "Yo, thank." He thanked me later, but then he told me the story later. I was like, "Yo, this is a good culture. Why not hit him up?"
right.
You know what I'm saying? Because people look at you and they have implicit bias, like they don't know what they doing, or that he's there, or he got appointed. Like, where's the real support?
Gotcha.
And
I
then
like
it's just and that's what we need to do
right.
because again,
Right.
Dana, you said earlier, I even told my assistant principals this. You all are administrators just like me, but you all don't have the burden that I have. I say because at any day when everything is said and done, it's going to come sit on my lap.
Yeah.
I remember one time I was in the building and I don't know, I think it was my second year, and I felt like I was alone. I
Mm,
felt like I was alone. I sat in my office and I was like, yo, it was the weirdest feeling. It was like, yo, I am alone.
We are.
This is a lonely position because my APs got each other and the teachers got each other. And at any moment I had an issue with I think I had an issue with a individual and the individual is in our same bargaining unit and the bargaining unit came after me. Even though I pay into that bargaining unit,
right.
that bargaining unit came after me like I was the pure evil, even though I had all my data to support what I did. And then at the end of it, the person who was in the bargaining unit came to me and says, "You know, I had to do that just to make her feel good because she's in the bargaining unit." I'm like, "But I'm in the bargaining unit too."
How about that?
So, but
Where's
but
my feel good?
yeah, and so it's just that that time again, that's when you need those supports that are outside your building,
Mm-hmm.
and you just try to just be as positive as possible because the teachers don't know. The teachers can go home. We had a child missing one time, and it's the worst thing. And this is why I'm like, oh, I don't know how to do this because is it time for me to leave elementary and move up to another level? Because how much more can I deal with having anxiety and true stress on the first day of school about a child making it home, especially a kindergarten child.
Mm,
especially a 4-year-old trying to get on the bus and they're not paying attention. And you're
right.
trying to put everything in there. And it's like you see the staff just laughing and joking, going to their cars, going away, and you're going having anxiety attacks in your office
Because you know it
because
comes back to you.
it
It
comes
comes
back to
back to
me.
you.
So those are the things that, again, that you really got to sit with in this seat, and everybody feels like that they can sit in this seat, and everybody feels that this seat is easy. And
Right.
when you see that the state is doesn't value people sitting in this seat, and they feel like classroom teachers that if you paid them enough they can do the responsibilities of the people that sit in this seat when they couldn't even last 2 minutes.
I mean, you know what's funny, and I'm appreciative. Before we shift to the next section or the next segment, it's something that y'all both just kind of touched on, man. It's specifically you though, Dwayne. Like the part where you had an issue with somebody who was in the same collective bargaining union as you, right? I've had an issue with that as well, from the standpoint of us in our APs or even our CSCs who we oversee are in our same union. So when we do have those moments of conflict, or we do have those moments where we're not seeing eye to eye, like our union is representing both of us, but it always feels as though they lean more towards the other versus us. You know what I'm saying? I have a similar situation, which I'll speak to probably in off air, with me and one of my colleagues who's in our same union, and I felt as though I wasn't getting no support. Like I'm made to look like I'm the bad guy. I'm
That's a
going
tough one.
crazy,
That's a tough one.
and I'm just like, yo, I'm just holding this person accountable. Like I'm going through the employee code of conduct. I'm going through administrative procedures, pointing evidence like this is the violation. But then I'm questioning, oh, you shouldn't have did that. You shouldn't have did that, coach. You like, what are you doing? What type of culture are you creating? Like accountability.
But you know what it is too. I'll say this to you too. We got to get a stronger union.
Yeah.
We
Ooh,
got to get a stronger
man.
union. And so, Dwayne, I don't want you to think like middle school. We got to worry about the first day stuff too, just not little 4-year-olds. So what I try to do at the beginning of the year is really implement systems and structures. If I got to be repetitive, I over communicate so people will get it. You know what I'm saying? Um, and it's also too, Mike, like coming into a middle school, like I'm used to having one AP compared to four. So it's all about we not here to point nobody's weaknesses out, but we're gonna identify them. We're gonna focus on your strengths. So I treat my APs, even though I'm their supervisor. I think what makes my job easier, I treat them as my colleagues,
Mm,
and I lead by example. So if I'm doing this, and I got pretty new APs, so now I'm just trying to build their capacity with parents, because who the parents want to talk to? The principal. We ain't even got the time. I got to train my APs to take over this. So it's all about building capacity, and also too, men don't complain. We not complaining. If you know we ain't rocking with somebody, they gotta go. They gotta go.
yeah.
Period. It's no ifs, ands, or buts. And I don't want to come up. I don't know who's gonna see this. You know what I'm saying? But if we are complaining about something, it's valid. Period.
Right.
It's really because we're not gonna be just complaining about anything just to be complaining. Yo, this person's ineffective. Period. But the world we live in, everything's watered down. People feel entitled. People feel privileged. I take things day by day, bro.
There you go.
And that's the only way you can do it, because sometimes it can really it can really bring you under. But again, let them. I'm gonna just let you do what you're gonna do. Dig your own grave, dig your own, put the rope around your neck.
Mhm.
Give you
I'm
enough rope to
I'm gonna
hang
give it.
yourself.
And I
Right.
think the sad part of it is that this year is during my speech to my staff, you will write your own growth plan. You will write your own
That's
pink
smart.
slip, meaning that your actions will dictate the actions done towards you.
Mm-hmm.
I also had to say, because I'm looking at everybody's actions of they want, but won't give. Don't ask me about any incentives until after second quarter when I see your data matches your ask.
How about that?
So don't ask me for no kindergarten promotion if my kindergarten data is not moving. Don't ask me for a sneaker ball for your fourth graders if I don't see fourth grade data moving. Don't ask me for anything if I don't see improvement in any place. Because what we have to remember is that this is not daycare, it's a place of learning. And that you are going to be an instructor here. And again, after the two people who I invested a lot and two people who I had in my inner circle, they left without a reason. I said, y'all created my villain story where I don't care who leaves because I have to do what's best for that.
And also too, I think I'm gonna go to evaluations with that. And you brought up a good point, Dwayne. People want to say they're distinguished and proficient, but look at our scores as a school. We can't. I'm just being. I suppose where I came from. We were 4 out of 5, and then we went to 3 out of 5, and we looking at our data. So if you distinguish, why your data look like this? We're gonna compare the data to your scores, and we got to be real. Like I told all my APs, I might get distinguished in like operations and management. I know I'm gonna do that. Like, but everything else, I might be developing because I know we just forming a culture. Like you got to be real with yourself, and you got some principals, you got some teachers that think they holier than thou and got these high ratings, but they're not performing. That's a problem too,
Yeah, where's the evidence?
right?
Where's your evidence? If you don't have evidence to support it, I'm not giving you anything.
Right.
I got what's the lowest thing you can get on your on your
Ineffective.
Ineffective.
my MOY was the most brutal MOY ever that I ever had.
Did
It was
you?
Mm,
the that I got.
Okay, got
It
you.
it
This
was
year,
the
this past year,
yes. And the thing about it that made it ineffective, uh, that I gave it to myself because at the time when it was scheduled, I was about to go and have surgery. My mind is not caring
right.
about anything, but you still want to have a meeting. I'm going to give you your meeting because you got a timeline. I'm sitting in that meeting and I'm just getting ripped. And it's not ripped because of things that I could not do. Do you understand that I'm having to deal with a lot of operational and procedural things in the building? Because sorry that I can't, I'm trying to help somebody on the fly and I'm not documenting that I helped this person.
Right.
But you see, my data is showing that something is occurring in my building. But I'm sorry that I'm not doing these two informal observations every week. My APs are doing it. You told me to be a distributive leader, and I'm doing my distributive leadership because I'm handling operational stuff that they're not. And so so I took it, but then at the end of the year, we got back on the track. We didn't
Mm,
see eye to eye about it. And after it was, I don't hold it back. I will call my supervisor and say, look, you were brutal. I said I was not in a good place. I didn't like it.
right.
Now I do understand that I did not do what I did. I take ownership of everything I did, but the way it was brought to me, it was brutal. It was brutal.
Mm,
So I just think, like Dana said in a previously, he was like, they have no idea of what happens when you come to the school. They do, but it's not their concern anymore.
right. Right.
but those concerns come the bulk of our problems throughout the day.
Mm.
That's because we got to put
Wow.
out fires. Because good, we don't want nobody to think. What two things you don't want? The area office call or something making the news.
That's right. I'm not being on Telemundo for nothing.
Yep.
Dang,
And
you
most
stole
of
the words right out my mouth, bro.
and I said Telemundo because most of my community,
Is
most of my community
Exactly.
is Hispanic, and they will. Or I do not want to be on there as anything. I think, and that's it. Because again, as an African American man inside of a community that is predominantly Spanish speaking, there was a lot that I had to do to build trust within the Hispanic community, especially as a person who does not speak their language.
Mm-hmm.
And especially when I took over the school that I was at, there were a lot of people from the secretary that I had at the time to some of the people in there that had everyone against me, ready to go after me, and I had to fight the whole time I was there. And so it's different. And those are the things that weighs us down as male principals because do you have some people in there who have male issues? They have father issues. Some people don't want to deal with it because they don't want to hear what a man got to say because they want to do what they want to do. They get along better with women. And then the whole thing of they think that men are very relaxed and easy. No, we're not relaxed and easy. We just don't pull up with crap. We're gonna tell you how I feel, and if I ignore you and don't put up with it, it's because it's not important to me, so I'm not gonna make it my issue.
There
But
you
people
go.
got issues, man. They try to bring those issues to the job, and that's what we got to do. I think as men, they want us to respond and retaliate and yell in anger. I don't even feed into it, and
Mm.
that's what makes people even more mad. That's what I say. Keep things professional and keep it business.
And keep it business,
Period.
man.
Keep
So
your business.
let's talk about something. I think you all kind of already on that same page with me. Just building tools. Let's add to our toolkit. So like, what are some things, or what are some boundaries or shifts that you have made or you plan to make to lead without losing yourself this upcoming school year?
Delegated. I
Mm.
think me opening a brand new school, I had to take that ownership. Hiring people because it was about quantity. After I look at it, because you're just trying to hire folks and staff the building, and you trying to do everything. Everything is brought to you. And my assistant principal was like, "Listen, it's going to be different for you this year. I'm just learning how to delegate and just build capacity. That's in my toolkit. I'm gonna sit back and let people fail or succeed, but that has to come with experience. So my APs, I'm like, one thing my instruction director challenged me was like, everyone talks about when you're not in the building how things are.
Mm.
When you there, it's cool, but you got to train your people. When you out the building, they got to step up. So what she recommended was like, have your assistant principals rotate in your seat. Let them feel that pressure. Parent meetings, Zoom calls, recall this parent back, get into a classroom, cover lunch, do subs. She said, put them in your seat, period.
You know
So I'm
something
just,
that's you know something interesting just on that point that you just said. It was said that it's different when I'm in the building and my assistant principals are in the building. And when I ask that question, what makes the difference? It's not that the work is not being done, it's their approach. I said, oh, they do this, that, and the other thing. I said, but that's what I do. I said, you all are stuck at that I'm very diplomatic in my tone. I told them they don't have to be diplomatic. They're doing what I asked them to do, but I told them they don't have to be diplomatic.
You
I
sound like
said,
me.
I said, I'm just diplomatic because that's just how I am. But
Mm-hmm.
y'all should also know I'm a very straight shooter. So
Mm-hmm.
I get what you're saying. It's like the building can run without me, but don't try to put us against each other because they were like, yeah, they trying to usurp you. No, they're not trying to usurp me.
Mm-hmm.
They just have a different tone than what
It's
I'm
exactly.
than
They
I
just
do.
got a different style. You know what I'm saying?
and I think so too. Another thing too, man, it's just like, I have children, um, like really having a cutoff point. Like having a cutoff point, meaning, I can't look at that email till tomorrow. Like
Okay.
let me just brain dump and just not think about work and just be in a space where I'm gonna take care of myself.
Mm.
Whether that's watching a game, talking to my kids, I'm gonna be real, having a drink,
Hmm.
just not thinking about nothing with work for a moment. And I'm
Right.
getting better and better at this, but I just gotta just really delegate and just kind of make sure my cup is always full. Because
And
I'm gonna
that's
be honest
and
with you, I feel like right now I've been working all summer. Like this summer's a little bit different because I just feel like we ain't got no leadership, and it's like you trying to
Mm.
hire. It's like it's just a different vibe I'm getting. And then like 2 weeks, we back in a week, we back to work.
that's
Mm.
right. And we'll be and for me, I'm another Dana, thank you for that segue, is I'm gonna be more intentional about taking my time
Hmm.
because I look at my leave and I look at how much leave I leave on the table every year. I also look that I'm breaking my neck to come to work every day.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Not to say that you should not come to work, but there should be a time that if I need a couple of days just to regroup for myself,
Right.
I should be able to regroup.
without
I
getting a
shouldn't,
phone call from the school.
Mm.
and
That part.
that's something that is going to be a part of it. If I'm on leave, do not you have two people that you can talk to. You have my assistant principals that you can talk to. But if I'm on leave, do not call me until I was on vacation this this past week. I'm in Philadelphia enjoying myself, and I'm getting calls from the school about what is this? I'm getting calls from the area office. What is this? I'm like, I should take my leave days back in corporate America. If you call me during my time off, I'm working, so that's not my day off. You don't, my leave is restored back to me because I answered your call. I answered your email. I did some work. Here is the one thing where they have no education is where people
Boundaries.
really don't have no boundaries of your time because, and they use children as
As the right.
as the scapegoat, and they try to guilt you because if you don't do this the children will suffer. I've learned
Mm.
that children, they will always have somebody replace me for the children.
Yo, we'll be replaced within a day. If
there's
something
somebody there's
if
somebody
something
waiting
happen,
in the
there's
wings.
somebody waiting. There's somebody that can replace you. Trust. They not tripping off of us being in the building. They want us because of it's a convenience to have somebody there. But rest assured, if something was to happen to you, oh, you're easily replaceable. Easily replaceable, bro. All the work you put in, everything that you feel like, man, I'm doing it. I don't nobody do it like me. Oh, we don't worry about all that. But we get somebody that'll sit in there and they'll do it the way they do it. Yeah. So if I could add one, I would definitely say that you can't pour strategy from an empty soul, man.
No, you can't.
That's my biggest thing, man. Like, and it's kind of going along with y'all said. Like, we got to learn how to take time for ourselves. A lot. We have families. Whether we have our kids, a wife, spouse, ex-wife, whatever, nieces, nephews. We got other people in our lives that are dependent on us as well, man. So if we're not whole, we're not showing up for our own family and our personal life. We know we're not showing up in our professional life like we need to. So for me, I think the best leaders aren't the ones who sacrifice everything, but they're the ones who sustain themselves while they lead. And I think that's the most important thing that I've learned going into my third year as a principal. Is like I got to make sure I take time for myself.
Yeah, and I feel like right now I'm stepping away next week because once SLI comes, that's it. That's it.
What's the and that's the week after next.
That's what I'm saying.
And I'm like, it's 4 days.
And look, they talking about moving it to well, that's a whole nother conversation. But yeah.
Yep.
And
So
so it's there. Yeah.
in closing, before we get out of here, fellas, before we conclude this therapy session, man, I want you guys to reflect on this prompt. If your desk could talk, what would it say about how you are doing?
My desk will say you're doing a great job, but get your ass out of here. Seriously. And clean up. Like
Right.
my desk, I keep it organized, but like lately, before I got on the call, I'm sitting here like I got stickers from June, like because I'm teleworking 2 days from home. So I'm coming in here today, and it's just like my desk would tell me, go home, but also before you leave or you start this school year off for pre-service week, straighten everything out in your office.
Mm,
That's what my desk would tell me to leave. Like I'm still here now. My desk is probably telling me, you here for this, but after this, go. And I think for me, it's so much going on. I got to take a day or two just to get my office, my space together. You know what I'm saying? And then
mm,
like at home, like you know what I'm saying? Like I'm a single guy, so I gotta go home. I gotta fold clothes, put them away. I gotta get a different type of energy.
right.
And and it's like I gotta take care of myself last because, my daughters might have something to do or somewhere to go. I gotta take them, what I'm saying? I leave here, go there. But I just gotta make sure to get more rest and just really be consistent. Cause it's like right now I gotta go. I'm writing on a grocery list. You know what I'm saying? I gotta go home and fold, but I'm like, how much of them am I really gonna get done? You know? So leave. That's what
Right.
my desk will tell me. Go.
And my desk would tell me, just organize me. Like you.
Yeah.
I just need to get organized. My desk would be like, okay, put me, you have everything. Like I got, like Dana said, I got post-its everywhere. I have two computer screens with post-its at the bottom of things that I need to do. I got some stacks of papers of things that I printed out because I wanted to see. Like I was
Hmm.
trying to look at some of the contract stuff, see what I needed to know. And so my desk would just say, just straighten me up. And it
Mm-hmm.
would actually, when you come in my building, I have an inner office and an outer office. And so
Right.
my outer office sometimes is where I stay at the most. My inner office is clean. That's
Got
like, that's where I get my peace because in that inner office is I can lock up and people forget that I'm in there.
it. Mm.
And so I keep that very nice and together. But my outer office, I got stacks of papers, books, and everything that I need to do that. But I need to clean that area out in that, and like I need to get my space back to me
Right.
because I've been getting prepared. I got post-its, I got chart paper all over in the office of me mapping out how I want things done. And I just need to make sure that at least by the first, well, that Monday, the 11th, I
Hmm.
think the Monday, the 11th, I think that day, I at least want to have, because I at least want to have my office straight by that day.
Exactly. I think we talking the same language.
Is just that is because I just need I want to start fresh. I had yeah, I just want to start fresh.
I get it. Hey, ain't nothing like that. It's, grandma used to always say, clean house, you got a clean mind. You have to think clearly. So, same thing with your office space. Your office clean, your desk clean, free of debris, free of anything. Handle all that. You kind of think a little bit clearer. You don't feel as heavy when you walk in the building.
Not at all.
Man, so my word of affirmation for you brothers, man, if I want you to, put this in your mantra, whatever it is, brother Dwayne, you always send out some good stuff. At least once a week. I appreciate you for it, my brother. Those texts are amazing. But I want you to really think about saying that I can lead with strength and still honor my softness. And as men, it's kind of hard to say the word softness and apply it to yourself. But just take it as meaning you can still lead and be strong, but at the same time, really take care of yourself. Apply some self care, man. Whether that be like Brother Doggy shared, maybe even going out getting a drink, maybe going out. Once in a while, I'll take my daughter and we'll just go and get these pedicures, man. I ain't ashamed to say that out loud, Jack.
Bro, I'm right with you. Cause
Yeah,
guess what? I'm going to sleep and getting a glass of wine. Like that's part of getting a massage.
there you go. Getting a
No,
massage.
I go and look. I have gone and sat and just let them just go at the feet, and I just close my eyes and let them
You right?
go.
The Wayne be like this.
I'll
Snoring.
be in the back like this.
Yo, you be in that chair, lean back, wake up, like, oh, y'all done
But,
I
already?
but,
was like,
but
go
let me say
ahead.
this to you. Y'all can't tell me that hour don't do some justice though.
Man, yo, I'm telling you, give you
That
life.
1 hour does a whole bunch of justice. And let me tell you this too. What we got to do as we get older, your health is wealth, man. We got to eat
Yeah.
right. We got to exercise. Like I have a gym here. I haven't been to the gym in 5 weeks, but I'm feeling it though.
Mm,
You know,
mm.
I'm gonna tell you this too, man. What I have, and I went through a divorce. Not telling it personal. Yo, I have a therapist, y'all.
Oh yeah. Every
I
Oh,
Monday
have
at
that's
4 o'clock.
yeah.
Every morning,
so
every Monday at 4 o'clock.
so Dwayne, I go every 2 weeks on Tuesdays. Yo, Mike and Dwayne, like I was feeling like some type of way just about stuff getting to me.
Yeah.
And I talked to my therapist yesterday, yo, and she says to me, if more black men went to therapy, if more men, she's talking about black men and dealt with our stuff and just have a dumping ground, she
Right.
said, y'all be so much better. My therapist is a woman, Jamaican
Mm,
woman. She's like, I'm just so proud of you because it's been like 5 years off and on.
right.
I went through some personal stuff, but then just to have somebody else, like Dwayne said, we talk about if we feel isolated.
Mm-hmm.
I need to talk. We need to get something off our chest. And I'm telling you, yesterday I felt like so much better. But I go every 2 weeks, and it's because of my mental state with this job, with all these problems, with
Real.
these counseling. Who's pouring into us? So my therapist said, more black men thought like you. But we gotta encourage people like, yo, it's nothing wrong with going to therapy. It's actually great for you.
It's
You're not
great.
crazy.
Look, Dana, I felt like I was falling apart.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And I had to call somebody, and I was talking to a friend, and they were like, "Have you ever thought about therapy?" And I'm like, "Duh, I used to be a therapist. I do need therapy." So I'm like, I found one. I went and found them, and I've been working with my same therapist for years, and it's just a
Wow.
good way because
Outlet.
sometimes, because it's like we switch it up. Like right now, I will go for the summertime. I'm doing some things for the summer because I've had some things happening this year that I need to focus on. But
Right.
then, like as the school starts, I'll go to every other week, like I normally do for the school year. But in the summertime, I go every Monday because it's just a good release to try to get my mind right. And
Yo,
that's why I'm like, not, that's why stuff just really don't bother me half of the time because
that part.
because
Mm.
that's it. Just
So,
like these people in the building, no.
and that's the stereotype. Men have an anger problem. I
Yeah.
felt like my peace of mind and my calmness that I've seen myself in where I was and where I'm going and where I am, it's all through therapy. It's all through therapy. But this is some things we don't want to talk about. We don't talk about this. I'm telling y'all, man. I tell my brothers, and I'm gonna tell you this too. I'm not trying to be biased. Like you can tell people. I've been in therapy so long. I can tell when someone either is avoiding it
Mm.
or doesn't want to face it. Meaning they know they need to go, but they don't go, or if they're in therapy, but their therapist is pacifying them.
Oh wow.
Now my therapist calls me out on my
So
stuff.
when your therapist is pacify you, and your therapist pacifies you, you know what it's time to do.
Get a new
Get a
one.
new therapist
Mm.
because she's not challenging you.
My therapist, she's like, Dwayne, I'm gonna call it when I'm gonna call it,
Exactly.
and she'll say, I'm gonna call BS on that, BS
Let
on the
me
play.
let
I'm
me
like,
tell
all
you.
right.
Yeah, real quick, Mike. I was in my therapy session yesterday, right? So my therapist is talking. I'm just quiet. She's like, "What's going on? What's wrong with you?" I said, I'm listening because you're right.
Mm.
And when your therapist makes you quiet, that means you're thinking that, yo, she's right. So she said, oh, okay, I just was wondering. I said, no, when I get like this, and then every once in a while, she'll get at me.
Right.
But it's just like, but she right though.
Right.
I'm not trying to be defensive. And I come to a point where I don't blame nobody for nothing. If I make a mistake as a leader, yo, I'm sorry.
Right. You
I'm gonna
own
own
it.
it. I'm not pointing to
Right.
you because guess when you point in old school, you point the finger with a thumb pointing it back, right back
There you
at
Back
you.
in the
go.
sun.
Yeah,
I would say it's three fingers pointing right back
yeah,
at you. Yep.
Yeah, but
yo, Mike.
it's very needed. It's
Yeah,
very needed. And the thing that we have to tell our brothers is that our insurance pays for it.
yeah,
Our
Yeah.
insurance pays for it. Our insurance pays for everything, and that you just have to pay your copay.
That's it.
It's like the most healthiest thing. And then EAP. And
Yeah.
like you can just go through that. We have the ways of getting it, and it's helped me
Mm.
tremendously.
yeah. Yo, Mike. Honestly, man, this was like so great. Like when you told me about just who was on and just men. Yo, honestly, man, I'm just gonna pitch this challenge to you. Like I don't know how often you plan on doing this, but this is healthy, man, and just to bring others on board because we need a
Hmm.
space for this. Like the women got spaces. You know what I'm saying? They do the girlfriend thing. They
They
do that.
do.
They do this. They love that. There's like 5 or 6 of them. We going out. We gonna talk. We gonna do this. But yo, where's our space? This was like I was like I'm on it. I didn't care
Hmm.
what I was doing.
Nah, I appreciate you,
You know what I'm
man.
saying? But it's a space needed, and I think this can really grow like crazy.
That's the idea, man. So before we roll, some homework for you brothers.
Oh
I want you
man,
to take some time. I want you to write a note to the next leader coming behind you. One
Mm.
line of truth, one line of encouragement. Just leave it in your journal or if you have an inbox or email or something. But be the voice you wish someone left for you.
Mike, how often you plan on doing these?
Trying to bang these out like once a week, man. You know what I'm saying? Once a
Okay.
week. Since I got time now, but this is something I've been mulling over. I did one like right when COVID popped off. I did an episode back then. But then, jumped into the principalship and kind of got wrapped up with the whole, I got lost. So now it's just like, now I got some downtime. It's like, man, let me just get this joint rocking and rolling, man. Wait, wait
And
this
I'm gonna tell
joint.
you this too, like how often do we talk about that as men, where we got an idea in our head and we
Mm,
it's just in our head and we just don't move on it. But
don't
you don't know
move.
how much you might be helping somebody else move from doing this. Because I do the same thing, and sometimes it's
Hmm.
like, you know what, we just gotta do it.
Just got to do it.
Yeah.
Man, well, again, man, thank you all for jumping on, being my panelists. Just want to make sure everybody feels like they were heard. For the audience who is going to be checking this joint out, man, thank y'all for tuning in. If this session definitely blessed you, do us a favor, make sure you share it with somebody else, and let them know if their desk could talk, what would it say about them, or whatever it may be. Listen to them, hear them out, tell them to tune in and get some more academic therapy. This is your man, Mr. Coates. I'll holler at y'all. Peace.
All right. Mike, real quick.